to another edition of the Wonderberry Podcast.
I'm Brian,
I'm Dave.
and you can find us online at wonderberry.com,
You can find me online at opendarkwing.com.
which is now on WordPress,
Yeah.
or soon to be,
Well,
or
there's a
is.
construction page.
There's a construction page built on WordPress. And you
I
can find
actually
me at
used
briankeesbury.com.
I actually used a plugin called construction or some shit.
What? There's already one built in.
There is?
Yeah.
There didn't
Well,
used to be.
it says like coming soon or something.
Oh no, this is bright yellow. It's got like construction looking shit in the background. It says sorry doing some work on the site under construction. Thank you for being patient. We're doing some work on the site. We'll be back shortly. And then there's a fun little link to my Instagram.
that's
Like
that's one of the
it's
beautiful things of WordPress is like you get an idea and the first thing you can do is like go to the plugin repository and be like, does this exist? Like, do I have to do this work or does somebody already do this work for me?
99% of the time someone else has done the work for you.
Yeah. That's what I was looking at the auctioneer client I keep
Yeah.
saying client. We still have to sign some papers before they're like official clients, but they also do real estate. And so I was like looking at the all of the crazy real estate stuff, and they have there's a like proprietary system that all real estate agents have to use, and it's called MLS. I don't remember what that stands for already. I just looked it up
Yeah,
yesterday.
it's I know MLS.
Yeah, so like
I
they
remember that
have
from buying and selling house.
yeah. So they, and that's like so all of the real estate agents can like have all of the exact same information about a house. And they just like punch in a number, like each house gets assigned a number when it's for sale, and they can punch in that number or whatever and look up all the information associated with that house. And then so these guys have on their site, it's just a god awful looking, like the most basic bare bones version of it plugged into the site, into their current site. And I was looking at it like, oh god, how do I bridge that gap between the MLS and putting this into my system on WordPress? Like, how do I build this into WordPress for them? So then I got to dig in, like, okay, who makes this MLS software and what is it? And, they gave me the information for it. So I had enough information to go on, and I got on like that company's website, and I click on the menu, and it says Flex MLS plugin for WordPress. I had like 3 hours of just being like panic and anxiety of like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, how am I going to skin this? How am I going to like pull this database out of here? And what are all the options going to be? And then I get to that website and I click on that menu and I see that thing and like just so much weight lifted off of me because it had every option I could think of. Like and it looked beautiful. Like it looked like exactly like I could have wanted. And it looked like all of the big name real estate websites, and I was just like, oh, thank God. Like, oh, yep, there we go. That's all I needed. I don't have to do any work other than to like sit down and go through the options with them. Like that's all there
There we
was to
go.
it. Somebody
Yeah,
somebody
I
did it for me.
I was kind of poking through because I kind of want to do more, kind of do more of the server admin stuff, and I was like, the more that I poked around in it, the more I realized that I don't need to do this, and that I could save myself a lot of time and energy to pour into something else like school. to just bite the bullet and pretty much switch to WordPress.
School, going to the park with your kid, actually like doing your taking your photography, like taking the pictures for your photography and posting them.
I've got a lot of shit done with that. I've been taking a lot of pictures.
Yeah, that was the same realization I had about 2 years ago when I switched from hosting it and my, you know, to doing the shared hosting. It's like, God damn it, I'm getting sick of trying to figure out why this isn't working. I need somebody else to just do it for me.
Yep. No, it's one of those things that I've realized as especially as I've been getting older and I'm kind of piling on different projects is that my most important the most one of the most important things to me is time.
Yeah,
And anything that I can do to shave off time from one task to dedicate to another is extremely important. And it's just it's just a time thing.
yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where I'm realizing that I don't know. It's just if I can save time in a good solid way, then might as well take that time to do something else. And so,
Do you remember when I timed myself tying my shoelaces and then made the choice to eliminate all of my shoelaces?
vaguely.
Yeah, and I came up with all of the math and I was on the show when previously previously on Wonderberry, Brian did math and came up with over a 50-year period. If it takes you 45 seconds to tie your shoes and then 45 seconds to untie them, and you do that once a day, and I think it was like 7 days a week across 50 years. And I don't remember what exactly the numbers were, but over 50 years, that totals up to you tie and untie your shoes for a total of 7 whole weeks, Dave.
Yeah.
7 weeks of tying and untying your shoes in your lifetime.
Yeah,
And I
it's a
went,
bit crazy.
okay, I'll do
Yeah.
slip-ons. And I got some of the like elastic shoestrings for my fancy shoes. And now I wear Crocs because I gave up.
I wear
Mm.
Crocs occasionally. I've got other it depends on what I'm doing. Like I can't go out and walk around in the streets to do like street photography in Crocs. My feet will move around too much and I'll end up with massive blisters.
Yeah,
I did, however, find an amazing pair of shoes that work perfectly for me because, like, normally when I walk around and stuff, because I have really bad flat feet. And I don't have collapsed arches. I have honest to God flat feet.
yeah.
So any shoes that have any sort of arch support, built-in arches, the little curvature things, it just destroys my feet because I don't have arches to support. So it's like standing on a 2x4 on its edge with the where the arch of my foot would be, just standing on a 2x4 is what it feels like after about an hour.
Mm.
So I've narrowed it down to pretty much like Converse and Vans are two of those. But the problem is that they don't have much in the way of like padding side of stuff.
Yeah.
And so walking around on pavement for a while, it just really fatigues out my feet. But Vans makes a line they call them it's the EXO line. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's like it's like an explorer's line of where they're almost like half trail shoe, half regular Vans. They're super lightweight and they have that extra padding in them with still maintaining that flatness. And over the weekend, I went to both farmers market and walked around Johnny Appleseed Festival almost all day, and I was exhausted, but the one thing that would not tired and exhausted were my feet. And that was when I knew that I'd found the pair of shoes for that kind of stuff that is just it's phenomenal.
Nice. I have a couple of Crocs that are like that. I have the Light Ride and I don't remember what the ones that are called, but they have like the canvas top. They look like what the Hey Dudes are, only not as nice a top as the Hey Dudes, which Hey Dude is now owned by Crocs, so hopefully the Hey
Oh,
Dude
cool.
bottoms get better.
They should. Hopefully.
Yeah. The bottoms of the Hey Dudes always look like junky foam.
Yeah, not 100%. It's just they're awesome though. I mean, just
Hmm.
like around the house and kind of like when I go out and about and stuff, I've got this bright yellow pair of Crocs that I wear occasionally.
Yeah.
But if I know I'm going to be on my feet for any extended period of time, those Vans come on, and I'm once I find a shoe like that or something that's extraordinarily comfortable, I'm not one that'll change from that. Once I find something that works, you pretty much just that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I have 3 pairs of shorts. They're all Dickies. There's a reason for that.
Well, speaking of what works, what do you know about lasagna?
That it's amazingly good, and I have to be very, very careful because red sauce gives me heartburn.
Oh, how do you what do you what do you do for lasagna? Like when
I usually use a spatula to get it out of the pan that someone else has made, put it on a plate, and eat it with a fork.
uh,
I've tried
uh,
making lasagna a few times, and for some reason, it works out all right, but it
yeah.
I always tend I don't know, I tend to fuck shit up like that pretty bad.
Well, I have my lasagna is pretty wild. It's like the basic lasagna I see most everybody do has like the store bought, lasagna sheets, which they're okay. Like I'm not gonna talk bad about them, but they're crap. Um,
He'll use his
and
ones that you don't have to cook it beforehand. They just cook as it's baking.
yeah, that's pretty nice.
Those
Um,
are that's it. It goes back to the time thing.
yeah, my biggest gripe is people that use cottage cheese.
Nope, we don't do the cottage cheese. That's one thing that she does not skimp on. She does not skimp on the ingredient. Like she doesn't go get the cheapest shit out there type of a thing.
So what does she use?
Rub,
Ricotta.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Season it up with like parsley and some chopped basil.
Yeah, she does something with herbs and stuff that way.
Oh, good.
The ricotta cheese, um, sometimes we'll do a meat, sometimes it's meatless. Um, if we do the meat, I usually cook the ground whatever we're using, whether it's beef or turkey. Sometimes I'll do a turkey sausage combo.
Oh,
So you get that kind of the sausage flavor in, and then the turkey is good because red meat fucks with my stomach.
yeah.
So I got to be careful how much red meat that I intake in that way.
Wait, is pork a red meat? I know they call it the other.
Pork pork is technically a red meat, but it's like a light red meat. I can eat pork without it doing too much. I just have to watch portions because it
Okay,
will eventually fuck with my stomach like beef does.
okay.
I've also noticed that the more like ground beef kind of fucks with me, ground steak less so. So I don't know what the difference is, but I think it's um the quality of the cut that they use for it. I don't know.
Well, a lot of times,
It'll
like,
still fuck with me, but the ground steak, like at Jameson's, the ground steak is a lot less so than the ground beef is.
well, ground beef is usually like all the extra bits and pieces that were like scrap from the cuts, so it could be parts from all over the place. Whereas,
Yeah. Whereas the ground steak is it's a higher quality.
yeah, it's a specific cut from a specific section of the cow.
So I just know that, and then like hot dogs especially all beef hot dogs. I know I don't do all beef hot dogs
Well,
because that just really rips
you
my
got
stomach up.
everybody's got to remember that all beef doesn't mean not all asshole.
Yes, I know.
So what you
It's
want
all a quality thing. So for hot dogs,
for hot
um,
dogs, you want kosher. You want like Nathan's?
I can do the chicken and pork. I
No,
just can't do the all
co-
beef.
kosher means that they come from select cuts of beef, and they're they're certified by what's the Jewish version of a priest?
Rabbi?
Rabbi. They're certified by a rabbi to be clean cuts of animal, so that there's not any of the
Yeah.
extra bits and pieces. So there's a lot of like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So it's a lot.
But even then, because it's still all beef, yeah, it's a higher quality, but it's not like having a steak hot dog, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it so but even the steak, even the ground steak and steak itself, it still fucks with me. It's just not nearly as bad.
Hmm.
It's it's doable. But if I eat, I eat one all beef hot dog, I'll have gas for 2 days and stomach cramps. It's bad.
Yuck.
So I tend to just not eat red meat anymore. I eat 90%, 99% poultry, which isn't bad for a diet, but
Yeah.
it just kind of sucks. That's why when we have cookouts at my place, I always have turkey patties and I always have bratwurst patties because that way I can eat the shit.
It gets you a little variety.
It's always different.
Yeah.
But I at least, going back to what we're talking about, I do season because seasoning is insanely important because there's nothing worse than biting into a chunk of ground meat of some sort and you get a burst of flavor from whatever it's cooked around, and then the meat itself, you get that bite of bland.
Yep.
If you know what I'm talking about, it's
Yep.
like, oh, this just ruined the entire experience. But yeah, no. So we use like a ground turkey mixed in with a ground sausage in the lasagna when we go meat for the
Yeah.
lasagna. It's really good.
So my process. Well, if say you called me up and you said, "Hey, it's our anniversary. Would you make me a lasagna?"
Wait,
And
you would have done that?
yeah,
God damn it! I gotta wait another year now. Anyway, what were you saying?
I do my noodles from scratch, and I have pretty set and solid recipe, and it's pretty easy. I say easy, but it's still work. But I I have 100 grams of flour. Well, it's 200 grams of flour and 2 eggs, and I throw that in my mixer, my KitchenAid, and it does the work. Because I got the kneading hook, so it'll like mix it all up, and it'll knead the dough, and I just let it sit and rest, and then run that through the the sheet roller,
Mm-hmm.
and like it does like the mixer will do all the work,
How
and
long does that whole process take to make the noodles?
um really not all that long because I just throw it in and let the machine do its thing. And then there's like a 30-minute rest time for the dough while the gluten develops. The hardest part is like letting it roll out the sheets because you got to roll it out thin and then you roll it through again on a lower setting and then you roll it through again on a lower setting.
So
Uh,
20, 30 minutes.
yeah, probably 30 minutes plus the 30-minute wait time, you know?
So
And
an
the
hour.
well, yeah, but I don't like the 30-minute wait time is just doing other stuff, which is usually when I throw the red sauce on, which I'll like, I'll chop up some onions and throw them in a pot and then dump in a couple cans of crushed tomatoes. Uh, um, I'll get some sausage from the store. I'll probably zhuzh it up. Sausage from the store is never that good unless I go somewhere nice. But we're out in the boonies, so we don't have somewhere nice. Like the best we got's Meyer or Kroger, and even they're like, meh.
Yeah.
So I'll throw some like extra fennel seed and a little bit of sage and, splash a red wine vinegar in it. So
All right.
gives it a little something something extra. Makes it actually taste like real Italian sausage. And then
Yeah.
I'll fry that up in a skillet and get those set aside. And then I make I don't do ricotta. I make what's called a bechamel sauce. So you do like 4 tablespoons of butter, and you do 4 tablespoons of flour, and then you have like 2 cups of milk. So you get your butter melted down, and then once it starts like foaming on the top, you get your flour in, and you start whisking that, and it'll like once that starts to thicken up into a paste, you start slowly drizzling your milk in and get it back to a consistency. And then once you get your like 2 cups ish of milk mixed in, you let that sit and cool off. And then that'll kind of turn into a thickened cream sauce. And that's called bechamel. It's one of the like first sauces ever invented. Which is
Sounds pretty
it's
good, actually.
Yeah, it's really just thickened milk. So, and then I'll like just have a cheese blend. Sometimes if I'm feeling lazy, I'll just buy a cheese blend, like an Italian blend that'll have, mozzarella, Parmesan, Asiago, provolone, or whatever in it. So if I have cheeses laying around, I'll shred them up. And so then I I have my 2 sauces. I have sausage, cheese, and the noodles you got to cook. So then I cook noodles, pull them out, and set them aside. And then they go in a pan. So then you start with your pan, you get a little red sauce down, and then you lay your noodles in. And then you put a heavy layer of red sauce, and you put your sausage down. Then you put a layer of noodles in. Then you put a cheese layer in, put the bechamel sauce in, put a layer of noodles in. Then you do it again. Red, sausage, noodles, cheese, bechamel, noodles, and get to the top. And the idea is you try and get as many layers in as you can so it's nice and thick. And then bake that for nearly an hour. So
Cool.
that would be your version. That's my it's my friend version. So I also have like the near and dear family version that only gets busted out for the most special of occasions, which is what I did this last week. That consists of from my grandma whose family was from Italy, her pasta dough recipe, which is bit different. Her original recipe called for 9 cups of flour.
9?
9 cups. The red sauce then becomes my mom's recipe that she's worked on for 40 something years. The sausage gets ground from high quality pork that I get from the meat market and made myself. The cheese is all selected from high quality cheeses, and I for sure, grate them by hand myself. The noodles are not done in the mixer. They're pushed by hand rolled, cut by hand, old fashioned way.
Seems like a lot of work.
The family lasagna, the Keesbury family lasagna, is 3 generations of recipes. Takes 3 days to make this lasagna. It only comes out for the most special of occasions, which was what happened this last week and why we missed last week's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. My uncle, one of my oldest uncles, he passed on September 11th. And so I took it on myself to make this family lasagna for my cousins and my aunt, who they just lost their dad and
Yeah.
husband.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
So yeah, I didn't tell you because I wanted to go through like the lasagna process and talk about this whole thing, but it was good for me because that's like part of my healing process is doing the like I had combined all the different bits and pieces of the things my family does. Like my mom does the the bought noodle lasagna with the ricotta and the herbs in it. Like that's how she makes her lasagna. And my grandma made noodles by hand, and she had a like watered down red sauce, but she didn't make lasagna that I know of. She made like cacciatore and spaghetti. And I like doing meats on the smoker, and I like doing the cheese sauces. So I kind of took the 3 things that we all did really good and put them all together. Made it something really special for our family.
Yeah. Oh,
So
absolutely.
took that down, and he was a veteran of the Vietnam War, and so there was a big military funeral, and the honor guard did their thing. Everybody was all calm and cool, and everybody was collected until the honor guard was up there, and they said present arms, and I think every single fucking tough ass motherfucker out there just fucking started weeping. They
Yep.
said present arms, and there was tears all over the place.
Yep.
And I shot. Everybody jumped on the first one. It's just so, like seeing 100 fucking people just like jump, flinch real quick, and be like, "Okay, yep, that was louder than we thought."
Yeah,
Forgot.
there's definitely something special about it.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the pomp and circumstance." So
I was when I was down in stationed down in Mississippi for a while. My last duty station. Um it was a massive honor of mine, but I was able to be a part of the honor guard down there and the funeral guard.
yeah,
And that was something special, and it was definitely not as easy as I thought it was going to be when I first started doing it.
yeah,
There's there's something about, talking to a widow or, the family and giving that speech of before you hand them the flag and that whole thing.
Yeah, that part looked awful.
It's it's really difficult to do. The nice thing is that it's the same speech, and so you just kind of go through with you kind of just say it as you hand them the flag, and then you just have to try to pull and compartmentalize yourself outside of what they're going for, what they're going through, and everything like that. It's
I I think the nice part was that it was Montpelier, which has like 2,000 people in it, and it was like my uncles are all part of the VFW hall there, so
yeah.
they're all like even the one that died was part of the honor guard to begin with, and they all knew
Oh,
each
so they had
other.
the VFW honor guard out. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I guess because it was a veteran. It was so the most of the ones that I did were active duty, so they were combat deaths,
yeah. Well, yeah, and this
which is a
was
whole different layer of when you're going up to a widow who's in her mid 20s, mid to late 20s, and having to
oh
give
that
that
was
speech too.
yeah, no, fuck that.
It was tough. There was a couple of them that were really, really tough.
Yeah. We had
It was
every
fulfilling though. It was one of those things where it's like I'm really glad I did it because it was it was good to do,
yeah.
but oh, was that rough.
There's probably only 12 people in the whole VFW there. So ev- everybody already knew everybody. If and four of them are my uncles. So like literally a third of the VFW was my family, you know? So
Yeah.
it was I mean it was tough. It was tough, but
It's good though.
yeah. So yeah, kind of had a funeral to go to, which was why we missed an episode. And I didn't tell Dave. I just boogied out of town.
Yeah, I was kind of curious what was going on, but I had so much homework to do and so much just like I had two projects that were due and they were both kicking my ass at the same time. And I was just like, okay, well, that's, however long this takes, that I can just dedicate and focus on something else. But yeah, no, it's sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, that's okay. He was he was struggling with esophageal,
Oh,
whatever, throat
yeah.
cancer,
Yeah.
and finally just said, "Nah, fuck it, I'm done." So, and then he passed on September 11th. So a third tower went down.
Yep.
It was funny though, because apparently while he was in the hospital, he told my cousins, um, said, "Hey, when I go home, I want to have lasagna and a nice cold Pepsi." So when I gave him the lasagna, they told me that, and I said, "Well, I didn't bring you a Pepsi. Sorry." No, don't know why I knew this, but I didn't bring you the Pepsi. You'll have to get one of your own. Just wasn't the home they thought he meant, I guess.
Yeah.
Ah, crap. Sorry if I made you all sad.
No, it's it is what it is. The support's good.
Yep. So how about rainbows, Dave? Unicorns? Candy canes? What sugar coated
Oh,
kittens?
I used Chat GPT in my uh for my class in a way that my teacher or my professor she got really excited about.
Oh, how's that work?
So
Are they
my
allowed to be excited about that?
here's why, right? So it was for my videography class, and we had to do a 60-second commercial for whatever we wanted to do. And I kind of was stumped over of what I want to create a fake commercial for. And I came up with the idea when I went out to go shopping, because I always, first when I grab soda, I drink Dr. Pepper Zero, wife drinks Dr. Pepper. So my big idea was I did a commercial on Dr. Pepper and Dr. Pepper Zero. But instead of doing it just like a regular type thing, I decided to do it in a hype, like Friday fight night hype thing. And
Okay.
so I used ChatGPT to write the script of a Dr. Pepper versus Dr. Pepper Zero fight hype ad. I figured out how many words that I could say in 60 seconds type of a thing and just let ChatGPT go to work.
Okay.
And it
Can
came
you
out
can
fun.
you redo it with a three-way cage match with Diet Dr. Pepper as well?
I might be able to.
Okay.
So I did in 110 words, hype up a battle between Dr. Pepper and Dr. Pepper Zero. And the results that it spat out was absolutely epic. Back in my early days of streaming, I played that marble race game.
Oh, I fucking loved that game, Dave. That was so
And
fun.
one of the things that I did during that was I used that kind of announcer voice that was like one half Argentinian soccer announcer, one half horse racing, and one half wrestling announcer.
Yeah,
And
that
so
was
I
so
brought
fun.
that voice back for the audio of the commercial spot. And then I threw in the kind of the cut video stuff that I did. Some of the stuff I shot, some of it I brought around. I got sound effects that I threw in there, kind of folded it up a little bit. I added the Wilhelm scream somewhere in there because why not?
Ah,
Speaking of, that is now Creative Commons because earlier
what?
this year, 2 months ago, the USC School of Cinema, their cinema school,
Yeah,
they took the sunset audio effects from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s that everyone kind of used. They CC zeroed it. It is
huh.
now all under a Creative Commons license. If you want to download the entire thing, it's about 25 gigabytes, or it's all on free sound.
Okay, hold on. My connection is about to get a little spotty.
Okay. But yeah, no, it was playing this thing through and was able to, in a few seconds just be able to kick out a script was so awesome.
Yeah.
And I did I got the script and then I recorded it and then I hit regenerate and then I recorded the next one, regenerate. So I did 4 of those and then had people around here listen to all 4 of them and let me know which one they thought was the best.
Nice.
And then I storyboarded around the hits and the flow. But yeah. And what it came out with was actually, and I'm not gonna do the announcer voice, but I'm gonna read this because this was so much fun. Prepare for a flavor showdown like no other. In one corner, the legendary Dr. Pepper steps into the ring. Armed with its unmatched blend of 23 delectable flavors, it's the taste that's captivated soda lovers for over a century, delivering a sweet, bold, and unforgettable experience. But here comes the challenger. Dr. Pepper Zero enters with a game changing proposition: all the phenomenal Dr. Pepper flavor with zero sugar and zero calories. Can it overflow the reigning champion and redefine refreshment as we know it? Witness history in the making as these two titans collide in the ultimate taste off. Will tradition prevail, or is it time for guilt free innovation to take the crown? Join the flavor battle and declare your allegiance. Dr. Pepper versus Dr. Pepper Zero. Who will emerge victorious in the quest for soda supremacy?
Mm.
And I
I
ended it with hashtag soda supremacy. But yeah, no, like that was the script that it gave me. And I'm like, why am I not using this for like just creating these things at
Dude,
random?
I I've used I used some AI for various things on client websites before. So don't feel bad.
No, I don't feel bad. I was really excited about it. And then when I told because I went back through and I very carefully read the requirements and the rubric to make sure that it didn't say anywhere that I had to write a script, and it
Yeah.
didn't. So I was like, aha, I'm going to use ChatGPT then. And it worked. It worked so well.
So I was just talking to a kid that Christy works with the other day because we ran into town to get some food, and uh, she cut his hair and she was cutting his girlfriend's hair, and we grabbed some food and grabbed a couple sodas, and I grabbed my usual Dr. Pepper,
Yep.
and he got a Coke Zero. I was like, you don't want the best soda ever? He was like, well, I can't. I get kidney stones. It's like, oh God, man. So you're getting a Coke? Like, what? So we ended up talking for like 20 minutes about like the flavor profiles of what Dr. Pepper is. And we talked about it'd be cool to do a blindfolded side by side taste test of Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper Zero. So
That would be interesting, especially for someone like us that drinks it regularly. I wonder how good or bad it would be.
yeah, and I think it'd be cool to have him because he is super smart about tastes and
Yeah.
can identify the different tastes and things. So I think it'd be interesting to have like bring him along on that journey and see what he does as somebody who doesn't regularly drink Dr. Pepper but knows the flavors. So you might have to plan a trip up so we can like record the battle.
No, I absolutely will. Just let me know when and I'll come up. Oh, I'm upgrading my camera body in the next couple weeks. So that'll be good.
Can you do that for me?
All right. No,
It's
It's
not
I'm
gay to
gay.
yeah,
I need
hell.
just
It's
I need
straight
some new
to
capture
hell.
sensors, Dave.
I know, right? I
They're starting to look low resolution.
I just sent you something up on in the chat. Let me know how. So you deal with business stuff every once in a while, and you deal with business people.
Yep.
How does that look? If you were to get that as a business card, would that stand out in your head?
Yeah, he sent me that. I said it looked good.
I added the at the beginning. Does that confuse out for
Mm,
the email address a little bit, or do I need to put another bracket system for email?
oh, I think I think you might be a couple years early for having the at on the front. So you guys aren't seeing this, but it's his business card, and it says at David at Open Darkwing in a nice font across like the center of it. And in a bracket above David, it says, or above a bracket above David, it says my name. In a bracket above at Open Darkwing, it says social media. And below a bracket under just opendarkwing.com, it says portfolio. So it breaks down what the three parts are while also showing his email address.
I just thought that was it was a very interesting, it's a different way of doing a business card that would stand out in someone's mind.
And it really is. And it's beautiful and minimal while
Yep.
also conveying multiple different things. Um, I think leave off the beginning at least for a year or two.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, I'm most likely going to have like in the social media links on my portfolio, because up at the top or at the bottom we'll have to talk about that. I want to
Yeah.
have at least some social media links, and I'll just have a Fediverse link or a Activity Pub link. I don't know what we're using for what the proper logo usage for that's going to end up being, but
They there's the Activity Pub 1.0 plugin was just released, and there are some new blocks to have a like follow tab. I haven't even looked at it yet, so I don't know what it is. So we'll figure that out when we go poking around on yours.
yeah.
I haven't even done it on mine yet, so we'll figure it out with yours, and then I'll do it on mine.
That works for me.
Yeah, because we're still in the like, the niche stage of uh federated social media.
Yep. Well, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of have it as an option at some point, was because yes, it is niche still and it's still very new, but at the same time people are starting to use it, especially if Twitter ends up doing, or X decides to do what it just announced that it's going to be doing, and that's charging for all users.
Yeah, that
There
seems
has
like a
been
silly
an
choice.
explosion uptick of people looking into either Mastodon or Blue Sky. It's crazy how quickly that's come about.
Yep.
And I knew it was eventually going to happen. Like as soon as Twitter did something really stupid like that, I knew it was going to happen. But
Yeah.
it's still kind of fun to see it. But yeah, no, that's my minimalist, unique looking business card.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
I think it gets the point across the right way. It gets everything done just in a way that's fun and unique and different and hopefully memorable. That's my goal, is to make it to where people, they see it and they go, "Oh shit, that is cool. How did you what?" Yeah. Cuz if you do the exact same thing everyone else does, then it doesn't do that good of an issue. But you get a little unique and suddenly everything is fun.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll lead off the opening at.
Yep. Did you ever see my business cards?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's good coloring. The background's bone, and the lettering's something called Cillian Rail.
Nice. Yeah. No, I just pulled that through.
Yeah, you figured
Okay.
that out?
Yeah, I did. That took me embarrassingly long to figure out what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. God damn it. Oh, Brian.
It was pretty close though. I did do like an almost bone colored background with a gold typeface. I just kept it pretty minimal. It's super simple. It says Brian Keesbury, designer, rad business dot solutions, and has my number on it. Like it's just simple and elegant and looks kind of old fashioned like that.
Nice. Oh, Brian, what are we ever gonna do?
I don't know.
This whole thing is just, I don't know. Lasagna's good. You guys doing okay though? Everyone healthy, safe?
Yeah, sure. I'm all right. Yeah, we're at the funeral and he kept like every time I asked somebody, "How you doing?" "I'm all right."
Yeah.
"Yeah, that's what I keep saying." Everybody kind of chuckle like, "Yep, yep."
Yep. It's the way it works. Everyone's just
So,
kind of everyone's all right. Everyone's just trying to hold it together so that no one freaks out.
yep, yep. So yeah, but I'm all right.
Good. I just want to make sure.
just, just all right.
Just all right. Well, I hope everyone out there is doing all right, staying safe. Summer's
Yeah,
finally winding down.
yeah,
Everything is going forward. I guess
yeah,
sometimes that's all you can really ask for is everything to go forward.
yeah, yep. What we do.
Yep, exactly. All right, my friend.
All right. We'll
Until next time.
yeah, we'll try to have less wild recipes next week. Come back with something like, I don't know. Maybe we'll make an omelet next week, Dave.
Yeah, don't count on it.
Yep. I don't know. Dave, we'll have a good week next week and we'll talk about fun things. Like how to set up activity pub on a WordPress. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something we're going to be starting to work on.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll do that. Later.
Later.